Oh, I gotta switch the chat so I can see other people.
Yeah, see the people's chats.
Oh, that's more running than I wanted to do just now.
You're like, I've already done enough running today. Please.
I know, right? But it was important, friends, because we had to get this. So
I
hold
had to
on,
get
wait.
the Guinness.
There we go.
It's like I had to get the Guinness. All right.
I'm just afraid of it just like shooting everywhere when I open it. So I'm like, do I want to? Do I not want to?
Did you
I'm
shake it
prepared.
when you ran?
Maybe I should.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to do anything.
But sure. There you go. Doesn't that sound so refreshing? The I've already opened mine.
Bubbling.
Sorry.
You inspired me
I,
to be an
that's my
alcoholic. Thank you.
that's my goal in life. Don't even. Don't even. All righty. All right. So, hi everyone. It's Nicole,
I'm Jen Jen.
and we're here talking about this lovely book, Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo, book number 1 in the Six of Crows duology. That's not a duology anymore. Duology. If you even go on Goodreads, it still says
Duology.
Yeah, even though it says untitled book number 3. And it's like you should probably change the series title then.
Yeah. As soon as you get to the end of the Crooked Kingdom, you're like, how on earth is this even supposed to be scheduled as a duology? Like, that just doesn't make sense.
Does not make a lick of sense, but I'm not there yet. So I was talking to, I know, I was talking to Princess from the Princess Booktube. I think that's her channel name. Anyway, and she said she was going to try to make it tonight. And I told her, we were talking about how it was my first time reading this book, and Princess was like, "It is your first time." I'm like, "I know. I'm so sorry. I'm behind on all the hype books."
I know. Well, and this one more so than Shadow and Bone, but as you can see, having read this one now, there are a few little things where you're just like, had I not read the original series first, it could have spoiled some things in this book. Like at one point, I remember it was a book club book for us. I had only read the first 2 of the Grisha trilogy. And I got to, it's very early on in the book, and they were talking about Sancta Alina being a martyr, or not a martyr, but how she had died. And I was like, she died?
Oh no!
So I'm reading the book. I'm just like, when do you kick the bucket? Like, let's go.
Oh, that's why I didn't because that. I think that's one of the very few books that I did not read for book club, because I didn't get very far in. And then I was like, I'm not reading this anymore, because I did not read any of the Grisha trilogy. So I was like, I am not reading this book. I do not want to be spoiled. And even everybody was like, oh, you won't be spoiled. You can read this without reading the Grisha trilogy. I'm like, no, I can't. If I know there's a series like in order, I have to read it in order. If I don't, it's going to bug me so much.
Well, and I think I even stopped I had started reading it before you, one of the few times. And then I had gotten far enough into it, and I knew that you hadn't finished, and I was like, I think I even told you, I was just like, if you don't want spoilers, like, stop now, because I feel like I know enough about the trilogy to know where it's going, that if you haven't read, you're just going to spoil yourself. So you did good. I think you did good.
I was like, I can't do it. But I'm so glad that I finally read this book, because I loved it. A couple things that a little irked me, but we'll get to that.
You just want the smut. Okay, this is YA.
Listen. I know, YA, like, just full of angst, and okay, somebody could have kissed. That's what all I'm saying. Somebody could have. I'm not saying full on bang. I'm just saying somebody. Kiss somebody. I don't care at this point. Somebody kiss somebody.
I will say in Crooked Kingdom, you may get that with certain people.
Listen, don't even tease me right now, because
you're like, my emotions are raw.
I've had enough with the teasing, okay? I've had enough.
Oh.
So to start this discussion off, Jen is going to read a
I don't know why I always forget that.
You all,
Even when we're recording regularly, you're just like, you're going to go ahead and read the synopsis. And I'm like, oh yeah.
oh yeah, I'm gonna. And we were literally just talking about it before we went live. We're like, I have to read the synopsis.
I mean, I have it pulled up on my phone. Wait, where did it go?
There it is.
Too much glare. Who knows what's happening?
All right.
Let's worry about it. I've done pretty good. So hopefully this will be 3 for 3-ish.
You've been doing amazing.
I know, but they've got some big words in here, like Ketterdam. I'm just like, ugh.
That was great pronunciation. Good job.
Because that's the first word. God. Dodge that bullet. All right, so Ketterdam, a bustling hub of international trade where anything can be had for the right price. And no one knows that better than the criminal prodigy Kaz Brecker. Kaz is off. Oh my gosh. Kaz is offered a chance at a deadly heist that could make him rich beyond his wildest dreams, but he can't pull it off alone. A convict with a thirst for revenge, a sharpshooter who can't walk away from a wager, a runaway with a privileged past, a spy known as the Wraith, a heart-render using her magic to survive the slums, a thief with a gift for unlikely escape. Kaz's crew is Kaz's crew is the only thing that might stand between the world and destruction if they don't kill each other first.
Good job.
I don't like how they wrote this because I feel like it should have been like a sharpshooter who can't walk away from a wager, comma, or like down a space. A runaway with a privileged past, comma, or down a space. Like that. Yeah, it would be nice. If you look at this, if I can get it to do anything, wait for it.
It's just all solid one, yeah.
And that's rude. Because I'm trying to I know I should take a breath, but then I'm like, there's no comma, so I have to like power on.
No, don't and then you just like pass out, and I'm over here and I can't do anything.
You're like, Mama Joe, come.
I know. I'll text Mama Joe. Mama Joe. So great synopsis, amazing, and right away, what I first noticed, we got a new map, which I love. I love maps.
Oh yeah,
get it all in.
The ice court. I love how at certain point, I don't know if this is a post-it note for you later, but I love how they're like, oh, it's like a maze, and then I think it was Inez who's like, it's a target, and I was like, oh snap.
Yes. I don't have a post-it note for that, but that's amazing.
Good. I can contribute.
But yeah, I was just like, we see the our original map from the Grisha trilogy,
which is different.
It's slightly different, yes. I wanted to, I should have got my book out to compare, but I didn't, but I thought something was different. And then I was like,
and so that area that's like an outline, it used to be filled with black.
Because that was
what's
the fold, right?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what it's called.
I remember.
Yes.
So, and then I wanted to get my other books out and compare the maps, but then I turned and there was a new map, and that kind of got my attention.
You're just like, it's
oh. And then,
I think that's the only thing that's different in that one. But I could be wrong. I mean, compare them later and let me know.
Oh yeah, I will. But I like how the chapters are all different points of view. I really love that. But the first chapter is a character that just like immediately dies. And I'm like, okay.
I feel like is everyone gonna die? A new character each chapter?
So he's not a part of the 6. What's his name? Juiced or something? Yeah, Juiced. Yeah, I was like, how is he just gonna die like right away?
Well, I remember reading it too, and I was just like, who is this guy? I'm like, is he one of the Sticks? Did I forget about him? And then he died, and I was like, that's why I don't remember you.
That's because you died. Sorry about that.
Well, and as I was starting, I was just like, where are we starting at? And then it started to talk about that they were going to inject him with something else. Like, oh, snap, something's not ready to go down. Like, I remember this now.
Yes. Like, the craziness starts like right away.
This book is a huge roller coaster. Like, it kind of starts like, I think I said it last week. It's kind of like going up just a little bit, and you're like, oh, look at all these people. They all look cool. And it's like, woo, 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 and it just doesn't even stop until like the
That's
last
exactly it.
page, and even then you're just like, oh, I just need to start Crooked Kingdom now.
I know. Oh, I know. As soon I started and finished this all in one day, I was just like, "Oh my god, I cannot stop. This is amazing." But I
It is.
feel like Leigh Bardugo is really good at the highs and the lows. So like just when
Mhm.
you kind of were like, "This is getting a little boring," then she's like, "Shoo, say no more. Let's
And
take
she's like,
off."
someone gets stabbed in the eye, and you're like, oh my god.
Like, "Oh my god." But I really, really started to love this book when we meet a certain Kaz Brecker. And I'm just like, oh, I could tell you're going to be fun. You're going to be a good time, Kaz.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my dogs are barking.
Come
Sorry
on,
about
Ruger.
that.
Is it Ruger?
It's Duchess.
Dang it. I had a 50-50 shot.
I know. Usually she starts barking first. He's usually pretty good about going outside to bark, but Duchess doesn't want to go outside. She wants to bark inside, and have said that's enough. But
Come on, miss.
it's
So is
like, and
Kaz
I
your
tell her,
favorite of the Oh, go ahead.
oh, so I was just gonna say it. Like I tell Duchess, like if you're gonna bark, you need to go outside, and then she stops barking because she doesn't want to go outside.
She's like, all right, I'll be quiet.
Fine. um, my favorite, yeah, I would have to say Kaz is my favorite.
I was like, can you even list them after that, or is it just like Kaz and then everyone else?
Um, Kaz and then literally everyone else. Yeah, I would have to say Kaz and Inej, are up there, and then Matthias and Nina.
Nina.
And I mean, I like Jesper and what's the other guy's name? Wyland?
Wyland.
Wyland?
Wayland. Wyland. Oh my god, now you're making me question. I literally just finished the audiobook and now I want to say it's Wyland.
Okay. And so it's like I liked them just because there was like a subtle tension between Jesper and Wyland. I'm just like, y'all can kiss if you want to.
You think they will?
I hope so. There's enough like sexual tension to cut a freaking butcher block of something. But like I was like, okay, they're just like, bantering, bickering, and then it gets to the part where they say they're talking and they're talking about either like they go for boys or girls, and I'm just like, okay, well, perfect. So because we got Kaz and Inej, and then we got Matthias and Nina, and then we got the two other boys, and I'm just like, okay, well, y'all the odd ones out, so you
better like each other now. Oh,
But
yeah. I was surprised at how much I liked their relationship and how it progresses into the next book as well. I was probably same thing with you, Kaz and Inej, and then Nina and Matthias. I think I actually like Nina and Matthias a little bit more for a while, only because I feel like they had a little bit more history and I got to learn it.
Yes.
But I think this time I was reading it and I was just like, oh, you too.
Oh, you too. Stop it. I have a post-it note about I was just going to say something, but I have a post note about it, so I'm going to refrain. But yeah, I really, really love Nina and Matthias's backstory and how that was introduced, and I'm just like, oh man, it's kind of almost like a second chance and a hate to love. I'm like, I love it so much. Oh my god. I'm like,
well,
yeah.
Well, and I love how, and I'm sure it's going to come up, but at one point they're like, so Nina actually betrayed me. And then everyone's like, are we not going to talk about how like her loyalties are fragile? And
So
then you find out her true reasoning and you're just like, oh my God, like she's protecting you and she didn't have a chance to explain.
Which is a problem with everybody, okay?
Everybody.
I feel like that's just a resounding, like issue in YA books is like people don't communicate, they keep secrets. And it messes with their relationship, and I don't like it. I was like, I get it. You have a tragic past. You're traumatized, but you got to get it off your chest. You got to
share it with your other person. They want to understand you. If you share something with them, they'll share something with you. Like, come on.
100%. I was like, especially with Kaz and Inej, we're jumping way ahead, but with Kaz and Inej, and she finally is just like, oh yeah, I have feelings for him. Why? I'm an idiot, but here we are. And even like you get that subtle with Kaz, you know, especially when she's injured and she is like worried about her. And I was like, yes, there is. That's when I texted you and I was like, are we supposed to ship Kaz? And
they're on a ship and he literally lost his mind. He was like, get off the table. My lady's gonna need to have something here. Oh, Summer!
Summer's here. Hi, Summer. And Nina is her. Yes, Nina.
Nice.
I do like Nina. It's just I think every single one of these characters, they have something unique to bring to the table.
Oh yeah.
They have something to offer, and they each have like different strengths, which I really love. And they're like each one of them displays those strengths in the book, you know, and I really liked that. You know, no one was really, you know, quote unquote more important than the other ones, um yeah, it's just like with Kaz and Inej, the whole like his whole backstory is so traumatic. I felt, oh my gosh,
oh yeah,
terrible for him. I was like, baby, I just kind of like want to wrap him in a little burrito.
Don't do that. He doesn't like being touched.
I know, but he'll be in a burrito blanket. He'll be fine.
We're gonna swaddle you first.
Swaddle and then hug.
And then I'll hug you.
Yes. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. Oh, I was like, okay, first of all, now's not the time to be talking about this. Like when you're like on a ship to this, like I get
suicide mission.
I get it. Now's not the best time, but y'all need to hash it out because Nina's like, I'm gonna leave when we get back. And I'm just like, you have to wait for him to explain. How are you just gonna come to the realization that you're in love with this guy and you're not even gonna give the relationship a try because he's like not touching you? It's like you have to know why he's not touching you.
But he should have also explained why, being like, okay, I want to make this work. Should let you know it's going to be baby steps at a time.
Yes, he definitely should have. I'm not saying Kaz doesn't have his faults, but if you love somebody, you gotta give him a shot. You gotta let him try.
I think she knew him well enough to know that if she didn't put that on the table, that he probably would not have let it go.
Yeah, that's true. If she didn't say, you know, like, okay, well, if this is all you can offer me, then I'm leaving, then he wouldn't try harder kind of thing.
Or wouldn't realize his own feelings. Because I think he knows that he likes her, but he's just like, I don't think he truly knew how much. And way to the end. We're just going to go right there.
We're just going to go right to the end.
When he was just like, I looked at Inej first, and that was my biggest mistake. And I was like, he took my woman. And I was like, never take a man's woman because you know you're screwed when that happens.
Especially a man like Kaz Brecker. I mean, come on. He is, oh my gosh. Like there are several scenes in here where he just displays his talents. And I'm just like, oh, all right. Is it hot in here? Is it hot?
The hot in here is just the book.
It's just the book. I was like,
why off the page?
Like, why is that such a turn on? Oh my God.
Because he's fantastic.
Also, another thing that really annoyed me with Matthias and Nina. We had a perfect opportunity. I mean, it was forced proximity. They're alone in the wilderness. They have to keep each other warm. Leigh Bardugo, ma'am, you missed an opportunity.
No, but okay. So in her defense, his entire life was hating Grisha. So it's just like he could not get over that. So yes, I think he wanted to, and I think that was he was struggling with that little bit of
but towards the end, when they finally got to that town where she quote unquote betrayed him,
I don't think they shared a bed that time.
No, they didn't. But like it was getting to that point where they were like they had this cute little witty banter. They were beginning to trust each other because like didn't the ice break and she almost fell and he caught her, but he was thought about letting her go for a half a second, but then really pulled her back. I was just like, see, trust. And you know, like you're breaking down the walls. And honestly, it's just like you had an opportunity. If this was a romance novel, they would have banged that first night. I'm just gonna put it out there.
It's not though.
I know, which drives me nuts.
Oh goodness. But yeah, Oh, and what would have been like really horrible. I think when I read this, both books were out at that point. But had I had to wait like a year or whatever with the sexual tension that was left at the end of this one, I would have been like, I can't. I'm gonna get on Instagram. Leigh, I need you to tell me now. Like, give me something, anything.
Honestly, if I had to wait a year for any of these books in between, I would have lost my mind. I'm glad they're all out, except for, obviously the third one in this series. But
well, I'm the second one in King of Scars. So when we come to the end of that one, I have a feeling we're gonna hate our lives.
I really think probably the second one of King of Stars is going to be out before the third one of this one, don't you think?
True. Yep. I think she finished because I follow her on Instagram. I think someone correct me if I'm wrong, that she sent in like a first draft of King of Scars. So she finished it, but like we're still very early on in the process. So I think, or maybe she just started it. It's something, I think she's finished it, but I don't know.
So I didn't take a picture of us live. It was right before you smile, so you're like, I'll take
another one.
I will.
Get on Snapchat. Give me a cute little filter.
Those were cute filters. I can't believe it caught both of our faces. Ready? 1, 2, 3. That was so funny.
I'm gonna do one with Snapchat. Now you have to. Yeah, I'm gonna get you off guard.
I'm just letting everybody know that we're live, even though Summer's here.
Hey, Summer. Summer, what's your favorite Grisha Verse book? That was poorly worded, but I was kind of curious. Out of the 5 that I don't know about King of Scars. Can we add King of Scars in that? I mean, if you want to.
If you've read King of Scars, like of all the books that you've read, Summer, what one is your favorite?
I already have a mask on. Well, I want to pick up my face. There we go. All right, one. Let's see if I can do this. This is the hardest part right here, is getting it sideways.
Yeah.
Ready? Oh, nailed it. We nailed it.
Nailed it. Jen's going to share that on Instagram.
I will. I'm actually going to send it to you first, and then later on.
Yes.
Being like, we were live. You missed it. Bitches.
Dang, Jen just feisty today. I think my feistiness and my angst, like my fed upness about teen angst, is rubbing off on you.
Probably.
But so yeah, that was, the 2 things that I, didn't like. One other thing is that
let's just make a list here.
I know, let's check them all off while we're here. How the last chapter.
Oh, you did tell me that.
The last chapter. I can't even remember his name. What's his name?
Pekka Rollins.
Pekka.
Technically, Kaz was in that.
He was.
From his point of view.
They all were. It just wasn't
true.
Yeah, it just wasn't from his point of view. Friggin' Pekka. First of all, what kind of name is that? First of all. Second of all, why are you gonna do me like that? The last chapter, when I needed some kind of closure, be Pekka Rollins. Like, why would you do that?
She needs to amp that tension up.
She does. The whole book, I was amped up. Also, the one scene, the incinerator scene.
Oh, I told you. Told you that once that scene comes up, you're going to be like, no. I can always remember when I think of this book, that scene where it's just like she's crawling up. Oh, she said something. Haven't read King of Scars yet.
I can't choose just one.
She likes a Grisha better than 6 of Crows. Interesting.
That's a kind of an unpopular opinion, because I've seen that people like the duology better than the trilogy. But I like where your head's at. I like it.
I'm trying to think of, if I were to pick one, I think I would go with the duology, just because I like how you don't really know, like, what's happening, but you know that you eventually realize that Kaz always has a second plan. And so it's really interesting to see how that unravels.
Oh God, his mind. I just want to pick it apart.
Right? But I like it all as a whole. And I really think you're going to like King of Scar. Oh my gosh. I haven't read that one yet. Crooked Kingdom. There we go. Because it's going to bring everybody together.
Yeah. At this point in time, after reading 6 of Crows, I still have to go in favor of the Grisha trilogy.
All right.
It's just, I'm not saying that, I didn't like 6 of Crows. I did. 4.5 stars. Solid 4.5 stars. Especially because it's the start of new duology. You're introducing new characters. I mean, you kind of got the world and everything. It's still there.
Mm-hmm.
It's, you don't have to introduce the mythology and the magic system because we already got that unless you read this one first and didn't read the trilogy. But you're introducing so many new characters, and each character is so different, and they each have their own personality. And Leigh Bardugo is really good about giving everybody their own personality, and I love that.
I love that. She's like a super unpopular opinion. No, it's great.
No, it's fantastic. I love it. I think Shadow and Bone the best. Maybe. I like how she gave herself an out after that. Maybe.
Well, she said the trilogy at first, and it was hard to decide. And I'm the first to say that I'll never pick a favorite because I can't. I just literally hold a gun to my head, and I'll be like, "Well, shoot me," because a right answer's not coming out.
Well, just
you give me a lie detector test, I'm gonna fail that, and you'll be like, "You didn't pick the right one." I know, I can't.
I can honestly tell you, like maybe I'm just biased because I just finished this book, but I can tell you that my favorite character in the series is Kaz Brekker, and right under that is Alina. I love Alina still, like even after all of the stuff that she went through and everything, and finishing that trilogy. Alina's gold standard. I love her so much. And then you go all the way down the list, every other character, and then there's Mal.
I knew you were going to say that.
I love it.
I knew it in the heart of hearts inside my soul.
Oh, it's amazing.
Oh, goodness. But yeah, I mean, should we try to do like a quick synopsis of the book, or should we just go into your post-it notes? Because
you did do a synopsis. You did really good.
I know, but don't we discuss what happened?
Yeah, we're still discussing. We're good.
We're all over the place, but it's all good.
I know. We started right at the end. We started right at the end, and then we kind of went in the middle. But tangent. Have you read Gilded Wolves?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Because I have read Gilded Wolves, and I've heard that people said Gilded Wolves is like the French version of Six of Crows, because it's kind of like a found family and a heist kind of thing, which I could see it. I kind of like Six of Crows better, but I did really like Gilded Wolves.
I'd say I'd try to read it by next week too, and then let you know my opinion, but that's going to be a lot, so we'll see.
Yeah, because
I have to read Crescent City still and Crooked Kingdom by next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for book clubs. So
yeah, because that's next week, huh?
Yep.
Summer and I have already read Crescent City.
Rude. Why wasn't I invited?
So sorry. Next time Summer and I do a buddy read, we'll invite you. We are doing a buddy read, right, Summer? April. Hold on. I have it in my calendar.
What book?
I thought it was April. Oh, yes. It's April 19th.
That's like next Saturday.
I know. We're going to attempt to read A Curse So Dark and Lonely. It's a reread for me, but I want to reread it because Heart So Fierce and Broken just came out this year. So she was kind of hesitant about, there it is. She was kind of hesitant about the book. So we're going to give it a try. If she doesn't like it, then we'll stop.
Okay. I mean, maybe. I don't know how. I can try. I bought this while I was in Europe last year.
Did you?
At a, oh God, what is their store? A Walden's? No. It's in Europe.
Waterstone,
maybe? It was a Waterstone, but it was right outside of Trafalgar Square. And it was like 3 stories. That much I know.
I think it's Waterstone.
I don't know. That sounds right. Okay. I think I said Bloomsbury because that's literally the
publisher
on the front. Yeah.
Whoops. But yeah, so I think it's like, again, we start off with the action like right away, like where you kind of were introduced to like the conflict that's going to be going on, which is this Jurda Parem, which is freaking nuts. Like how it really she says
she's in for it.
Yeah, love it. So yeah, this they just kind of took Jurda and kicked it up 1,000 times, and it kind of just really expands the Grisha power. And it's almost kind of limitless because if you think about it,
Oh,
the
yeah.
Grisha within, they even say like the small science, like the science around the Grisha magic is when people manipulate their kind of proclivity, whatever,
Mhm.
if they're heart renders or healers or um it's the molecules that they're doing, and everything. And it's kind of that's how they, change things. And that's how Jesper can, like he has like an iron or something like that.
I
Like,
believe so, yeah.
yeah, so it all has to do with like atoms and molecules and the science behind it. Even like we touched a bit on this in the first trilogy about like why is there a limit? Like what's the difference between this atom and the next atom? Like why can, that kind of thing. And it kind of just really spirals, from there. And that's kind of why they call it the small science, because of
Mhm.
it's at its very base, it's just manipulating atoms. And I just think that's really cool, like how the magic system is also kind of based on science.
Oh, yeah.
Um, but yeah, just kind of like this, but it's like the Jurda Parem is just so addicting, and you just kind of go crazy for it, and then it
One
also just
use.
is slowly killing you. And I'm like,
Mhm.
that's no good.
Yep.
And so, um, so obviously, um, they need to get the person who invented it, and they go to Kaz, this what's the guy's name? Help me out. Van Elk? Is that his last name?
Rhino sounds right.
Yeah. I think it is.
I wanna say Van Halen, but that's wrong.
It's Van Elk, I think, because well, he goes like Kaz is like the best at what he does. And
Everything.
he goes by Dirty Hands, and he's only 17, and he is like,
17.
and yeah, and he like basically runs this part of Ketterdam. And I just thought that was, I was like, man,
Blows your mind, right?
yeah, like his skills.
I caught the age the first the f I mean, I read this book, I think, twice so far, and then this was the 3rd time, and I think this was the only time that I recognized, like, how old he was, and he
For
was like,
how
"Yeah, I'm
young.
17," and then someone else was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm 16," and I'm just like,
Inej
"Look
is
at the teenagers."
16. Inej is 16.
That's
Oh my
insane.
god, you guys are babies. Okay.
That's half my age. I feel so old now.
God, I know. That's what, like reading. I'm getting to the point where even reading some romance novels that I'm older than the main characters, I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like it. Mm-mm.
Being like, we'll just cross out this 16 and you're 30.
30 now. It's fine. Like having like a midlife crisis. But it's there he's getting paid a lot of money. 30 million, what, Craig?
Kruga.
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 Kruga. And I was
Sorry.
just like, oh, that's a lot of money. And 6
Mhm.
people, so they each get like what, they 4 million
4 million
apiece.
each.
And it's basically a suicide mission because they're going to this ice, what is it called?
Ice prison?
Ice. It's just not good. The ice court.
Ice court, there you go.
That's just reminded me of like a Court of Mist and Fury too.
I was thinking the same thing just now too.
Free sand will help you. And it doesn't help that I'm reading Akatar right now,
Oh, true,
um
true.
so yeah, apparently like this ice court is like a place for crazy. It's freezing cold, not only like freezing, and then the Fjordans, they hate Grisha. They want
Yep.
to kill him.
Well, and I love how Matthias is almost naive that he doesn't understand. She's like, "What do you think that they do? They don't get
Yes.
like, yes, they go on trial, but they
Oh
don't
my god.
actually like get
Yes.
punished for their crime." So it's just real
Yeah,
sucks. It really
that
sucks.
that was really rough. Like that whole scene where they basically get there and the first
Mhm.
thing that they see are like the spikes and like bodies
Bodies.
are burning. And
That one person was still alive. I was like,
oh god,
I
yeah.
forgot about that, and I was really
Yes.
glad that they, I think, oh god, what is his name? The
Jesper.
shooter,
Jesper.
Jesper. Yeah, how he shot him, and he was just like, well, he's not gonna. It doesn't matter if they can see us. Like they didn't deserve to die. So
Yeah. Yeah. Kaz was like, you basically just told us everybody our position. It's like, well, he was suffering. So,
yeah,
and it
good
was
job,
just,
Jesper.
yeah, that scene was really rough. And Nina just,
Lost it.
she lost it. She broke. And I'm like, honestly, I don't blame the girl, because that's basically like, if you have like this affinity and you're a part of this basically culture, the Grisha is a culture, it's a way of life. And it's basically like your family who are just being burnt because that they exist. And
Yep.
that's what she was trying to get across to Matthias, and he just did not get it for the longest time. He was just like, everybody has a fair trial, like we don't just burn people anymore. And it's just like, and even Nina was like, has anybody gotten off on these trials? Has anybody walked away? No, because our only crime is existing. So we're guilty because we exist, we have this power, we're guilty, and they're gonna kill us. And
go ahead.
I don't think that he got that unless he had feelings for Nina. Like, he wouldn't have seen another way of thinking unless he didn't fall in love with her, and then kind of seen how the Fjordans just really kind of went south.
Oh yeah.
They were barbarians, like not only with like burning people on on these stakes, but also like this whole underground facility that they had that no one even knows about, only like the higher up of the government. Because Matthias didn't know. He was just like, when that guy was saying like when they get like the guilty people from the trials, they go in this prison and they basically get experimented on. Like that's what, like, so Matthias didn't know. Like he didn't know about any of that. And I was just like, kind of like, that was like a 1-2 punch to his system. Like his feelings for Nina, who is a Grisha, and then the truth behind like what his people are actually doing.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say. It's just like I don't think he fully understood it until he was inside that prison. And then he was just like, we've got 30 of them down here. And he's like, 30, what do you mean? And I was just like, well, you people are crazy. That's what it means.
And even Nina was like, after that big war, there were so many Grisha that were lost, and to have 30 down there slowly going insane and gonna die anyway, it's just like, it's such a loss and such a waste. And it's like,
they could be healing people. They could be making people crowns. Who knows?
It's like each one of their powers like have a purpose, and they can totally, benefit a kingdom. And that's just how you like. But if there's a lot of, even in the real world, there's a lot of prejudice, and it just really comes across to, in this book. And I just really felt for Nina. Nina was right here.
Oh yeah.
There were some things that I didn't agree with, like the whole thing between her and Matthias about how they're like, oh, this guy can't, he can't live because there's no way that even more Jurda Parem can get out. And they made this like little pact that like he doesn't leave the ice court alive. And I'm like, that's not a good idea. I mean, okay, you're right to an extent, but you can't be keeping secrets. And Kaz is going to find out, because he finds out freaking everything.
He does. He really does.
He does. He finds out everything. And like he has, like for every plan that he has a plan A, plan B, plan C, all the way down to Z. Like he has literally thought of everything, except for that last thing, when they took an edge, but he's like, well, crap.
Oh, just so you wait. Never take a main character lady.
I know, especially I've said this, like especially one like Kaz, because he's such an alpha. I feel like he's like an alpha hero. It's just, and I know it's not a romance, but he does have like the characteristics of an alpha hero, where he is very protective of once he like he tries so hard not to fall for somebody, but once he does, if you touch a single hair on her head, you are dead. And I'm just like, yes, kill everybody. But that's what I love. I was just like, that's what I love about him, because he's fantastic. And yeah, there were so many people like just scheming, and like quote unquote, like when Jesper like betrayed the team, when he was talking about how he was going to come into some money, and Kaz like, I told you not to tell anybody, and I was like,
I didn't tell anybody, but you did.
He did, but it's like, come on, like, God, he didn't go right up to Pekka Rollins, be like, hey, this is where we're gonna be at this time. I mean, he might as well have, but
exactly. And that was Kaz's point. He was just like, had you not gone running your mouth because you owe so many people, like, come on.
And then I know that whole day I was just like, their boat exploded. But yeah, it's like Kaz like takes like every little thing as a betrayal, you know. It's like if you don't do exactly as I say, you know, how I say it when I say it, it's like what good are you? You
Yep.
know? And that's just like you gotta give a little Kaz, but of course, like if you give a little, he wouldn't have gotten to the place where he's at now. I mean, I have a lot of respect for Kaz, I really do, but he's the one that's gonna make the hard decisions. He's the one that's gonna make the decisions that you're not gonna like, and he's gonna one that's gonna, you know, if you can't do it, he's gonna be able to do it and follow through. Like he, you know, he can make some tough decisions. Like, ooh, and that can, you know, but there's got to be one. There's got to be one in the bunch, right? Who has to make the tough calls, you know, who has to be that leader and, you know, step up. So get the job done.
Thanks for being the ass, Kaz.
But yeah, and it just, and Inej, I really want to know how she learned how to do all that stuff in like 2 years. Like she went to that, what's her name, Helene, in the menagerie.
Yeah,
And then
she didn't go there willingly.
No, she didn't.
I don't like her backstory. I'm going to tell you now.
We find out more in Crooked Kingdom. I know we do.
I was going to say it's a trigger.
Oh, for
trigger
sure.
warning.
I was like, I already knew, like obviously, but when she left the menagerie and began to work for Kaz, it's only been like 2 years.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just, but like if she already knew how to do all that stuff because her family, like they were acrobats and they did all this, you know, stuff. So I get it. But even Kaz was like, you know, you snuck up on me. You have bells on your ankles, but you snuck up on me. There's something magical going on with her that, you know, when she doesn't want to be seen, she's not going to be seen. It doesn't have anything to do with her skill. I honestly think it has something to do with magic. And because even Kaz was like, if you don't want to be seen, you're not seen. If you don't want to be heard, you're not heard. And it's not and it like because he even said like you have like this bright purple, you know, silk on and you have bells on your ankles, but you did not want to be heard or seen. And I was like, that's kind of crazy. And she's freaking badass. I know you're just looking around. I know
Next week, Nicole. Next week.
I know. Next week.
7 days.
Next week, when we read Crooked Kingdom, we talk about it. I could be like, I told you.
Or you could be smoking a, you know, crack pipe. Who knows?
You know, weirder things have happened. But yeah, it is. She got some skills. I tell you, she's pretty amazing. And when she got stabbed, I literally screamed. I was like, "Ah!" I was like, "No!" It's like we're not there yet.
You're like, we're only on page 100. Actually, I think it's 150 or so.
Yeah, I was just like, "What?" I knew we weren't even halfway to the halfway point. I was like, "What are you doing?"
I remember reading this the first time, and they got through the ice court and everything, and they were fine. And I was like, "Why are there so many pages left?" Every time. Because there was an ultimate betrayal left in the back pocket.
Oh, okay, yeah, that whole thing where that guy that I didn't know what his name. I was like, "Who are you? Are we supposed to know who he is?
Oh.
Who is that?"
No, that's someone else. I'm talking about like way at the end.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I think yours is Jorda.
No, it's the Brum person. Brum.
Yeah. I can find your text.
Hold on.
Might be faster.
Maybe. Oh, Jarl Brum.
Jarl Brum. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that guy, when he basically like kidnapped Nina and threw her in a cell, and then Matthias was there, and he was like, "You really think that I was gonna, you know, betray my country again?" I was just like, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I was like, I'm not gonna believe it. This is all part of a ruse. Like, it's gonna be fine. And I was like, I was proven right. Like, he totally like
you didn't even
Megan.
remember who he was.
I didn't. I was just like, she was like, because Nina like turned around and he was like, and this was Jarl Brum. I was like, who are you?
Well, and I was just like, when you first sent that to me, I read what your thing was like, who is this guy? And I was like, drown. I'm like, I don't know. So I started reading above it a little bit, and she's like, he should have drowned. And I was like, he's that guy. Like, do you want me to tell you who he is? Because I remember him now.
But then, like in the next, he kind of like
chapter or so, yeah,
kind of like jogged my memory, and I was just like, and that's honestly, like sometimes like when I read like mysteries and they like reveal who the killer is, I'm like,
who?
Who are you? It's so terrible. But yeah, that's also a post-it note where I'm just like, he's not going to betray her. Not after they kind of had like a heart-to-heart where she's just like, I didn't betray you. Like they were, they were going to find us and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, that's right. Why don't you tell people these things, Nina, Matthias, instead of keeping secrets? Honestly, y'all secrets are gonna get each other killed.
True.
I mean, nuts. But we can go to post-it notes now.
I was gonna say, do you want to start post-it notes? I don't have very many discussion questions. There's just a few, and I think we've touched on a few of them already. So
okay,
we're gonna ask them anyways. But let's do this.
Let's do it. Okay, so my first post-it note is like the very first page. Poor Joust, whatever his name is, and he was talking about how he was trying to think of something clever to say to his little lady friend.
Sorry.
That's fine. I'm just like, this one. Okay. If only Anya's eyes were blue like the sea or green like an emerald. Instead, her eyes were brown. Lovely, dreamy, melted chocolate brown, rabbit fur brown. I'm like, go with the first one. Definitely go with the first one. Please do not compare your woman's eyes to a bunny pelt. Please don't.
Who knows? Maybe that was going to be a compliment.
Maybe she could have taken it really well. Like, we didn't get a chance because she went crazy too. My second post-it note is literally, I think, the next couple of pages. And we came across, like, I think Yuri may be quarantined. I was like, can we not talk about quarantine right now? Like, can we please not?
I'm like, let's just pocket that for later. Granted, she wrote this book a couple years ago, so
yeah, honestly. But I'm just like, honestly. Oh, okay, yes. So we're at that scene where the Jurda Parem was basically given to Anya and telling her like what to do to this poor little boy. I'm like, yikes.
When they said to take off his finger, I was like, don't do it.
Do it. And she didn't. She was like, I'm gonna get out of here and I'm gonna take control of everybody.
Like, I feel super powerful, so I'm just gonna make y'all die.
This is the kind of thing about, experimentation. Like, if you don't have a complete absolute control like over your settings, like things like this is gonna go wrong. Just like,
for sure. But I'm not sure. I think that was probably some of the earlier testing, so they didn't know quite how far they would go. I think they knew a little bit, but they didn't think that they would have enough. Oh my gosh, I want to say like they weren't cognizant enough.
Yeah, she was like the third person that they tried this on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they tried like a couple of like two other different Grishas who had different powers than her.
Yeah.
Like they didn't want to give it to a heart render because that could be catastrophe. So they wanted to give it to a healer. And I was just like, well, how different is a healer's power as opposed to a heart render? Like one is just giving life, one is taking it away. She's fully capable of doing a 180 the other way, even without this Jurda Parem. I'm like, come on, people, think with your upstairs brain, okay? Like come on.
So true. So true.
Nuts. Okay, so we get to Inesha's chapter and we're he's meeting up with Giles. Is that his name? Giles, whatever his name is. And basically saying, like, okay, like you don't do business in Ketterdam, like we're all gonna leave here happy, blah blah blah. And he thought he got the one up on Kaz. Like he thought he like bought off some guards to shoot him in the back during this meeting, and then like I said, Kaz has a plan, A, B, C, all the way to Z, and like he's bought off the same people you bought off. Only Kaz has more money and more secrets on these people, and he's basically like egging him on to like shoot him. Like he's like, tell him to shoot me. Like, go ahead. He's like, go on, find your balls and give the order. I'm just like, why is that so hot? Like, stop it. Like, why? I was like, I'm gonna like you, so yes.
I like how the first thing I thought of when you were like, oh yeah, he thought he could one up on Kaz. All of a sudden I thought of Sherlock in that line where it's just like, shut up because you lower the IQ of the whole block. And I was like, that's you. I can't even think of the guy's name, but
I can't either. But I know exactly what you're talking about. Like seriously, it's like you think you got one on Kaz? I'm sorry, no.
That was your first problem. You thought.
That was problem number one. You did some thinking, which no, don't. Amazing. Oh, goodness.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's perfect. Don't. Okay, so I found the guy. His name is Van Eck.
Van Eck. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Sorry.
And basically approaching Kaz to do this mission for him. He offered $5 million at first. And yes. And basically when he told Kaz like he's at the ice court, and then he like burst out laughing. It's like, well, it's been a pleasure being knocked unconscious and taken captive by you. You can be sure your hospitality will be repaid when the time is right. Now have one of your lackeys show me the door. It's like, apparently this is not a fun place to be. This ice court.
Yeah, well, it's not that it's not a fun place to be. It's just that once you're inside, like getting out or even getting in is next to impossible. So it's a suicide mission, and he knew that. And he's like, 5 million is not going to be anything because you're going to need X, Y, and Z in order to get this whole plan going. So it's like 5 million is barely going to cover the cost of the boat across the whatever.
He's like, I'm going to need a team to do this, because he even said, at one point that, it's like getting in is not the hard part, it's getting out.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I need a team to be able to do this. And like even Van Eck like started to raise the price. He's like 10 million, like, and even Kaz, he even said like, he said something about
I wonder how high he was willing to go.
Yeah, he was just like 20 million is hardly cheap, quote unquote. And he's basically just like, well, it's a suicide mission, so I don't care how much money it is. I'm not going to be able to spend it if I'm dead. So you got to make it worth my while, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And also make it worth his while with paying 6 or 5 other people. So
yeah. And then stealing my woman, I'm going to come after everything after that.
God dang. You made a mistake, buddy. Big mistake.
Your first mistake was saying, don't kill everyone, grab the girl and my money and go.
Go.
Not okay, buddy. Not okay.
My next post-it note is when they're breaking Matthias out of the prison, and he's all kind of busted up because he got in there and had to fight wolves. Oh, that was kind of rough. And so he's all groggy, and so Nina's trying to wake him up, and then he like, sorry, she's like, we're here to get you out. It's like before she could blink, he had a hold of her shoulders and had pinned her to the ground. Nina, he growled, then his hands closed over her throat, and I'm like, baby, wait until we're alone. We got people around. Just wait, honey. Gosh, I know it's been a second, but come on, man. I freaking. And then we get.
Just because knowing like what's gonna happen, that's not even on the table.
I know.
They didn't have to be on the table. They could have been anywhere.
It could have been literally anywhere. Oh God. Oh,
even better.
100%. I was like, okay. He's into choking. All right.
Oh goodness.
Oh, see? This is what happens when you read, a bunch of romance. Your mind automatically goes to places.
Okay, so I know you don't watch Friends, but it makes me think there's a Friends episode where Chandler and Joey randomly turn on their TV one day and there's just like porn on, and so they're like, we can't turn off the TV because it's free porn. So they watch it like 3-4 days straight. Like they don't turn off the TV. And so they like we're talking after like 4 or 5 days and they're like, so you know what? I totally expected like unbelievable. I ordered a pizza and the pizza lady just gave me the food and left. Like, how dare she? And then they're like, do you think we should turn it off?
Yes.
Oh goodness.
That's so fun. I haven't seen that. I'm not like a diehard Friends fan, so it's like I haven't seen every single episode. I've seen a couple, like when they're
like
on.
All the seasons. All the seasons multiple times. I think I'm on my like third or fourth time in Parks and Rec right now.
Oh wow.
I love that show. I like you and I love you. It's so beautiful.
I don't get it.
No mourners.
No funerals.
Thank you.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Sorry, I love that. So I've said this like 7 times. I apologize, but I follow Leigh Bardugo on Instagram, and I don't know if
everybody, if you didn't know, Jen follows Leigh Bardugo on Instagram.
So she posted because she was on set with the Netflix, which is coming out, which I think is what kind of prompted us to do this. But she was like, I was on set and today they said the words, and I was like, those are the words. Like out of all of the series, that's the only thing it can be. Well, I haven't read A King of Scars, but it's the only thing it can be. So she was like, I got goosebumps when I watched or when I heard him say it, and I was just like, I'm so excited.
That's what I'm really excited about with the show too, is because we have people from both series, from both books. Like we have Alina and the Darkling, and then we also have Matthias and Nina, and so it's going to be very interesting to see how the timeline is going to go.
It's going to make more sense in the next book.
Yeah. I kind of read spoilers about that, but
they're not huge,
but yeah. So I was just like, I'm really interested in how they're going to adapt it. Especially with just the meshing of, especially in season 1. Yeah. I maybe would have thought like they introduce like these characters in like maybe like the halfway through the first season, maybe like the season finale, you get these characters, and then on to season 2, you get Matthias and Nina and Inej, but like they're in the whole season. So I'm just like, it's gonna be really interesting how
they do that. Well, and I wonder if they're gonna have it take place around the same time. I know that there's a couple teachers in this duology that get referenced, so maybe they'll
Zoya.
have them kind of crossover. Zoya,
Nina talks about Zoya all the time.
And there's one other person that I won't say until next book, and you'll probably text me and be like, ha!
Okay, so we'll stop talking about that. I'm very excited about the show.
But yeah, so when she posted that, I was just like, oh, I think I even put it in the book club group. I was just like, guys, they said the words, and I was like, nobody else knows what I'm talking about
because I hadn't read the book by then.
The other Nicole has, though.
She has, yeah, but so my next post-it note is we're on Matthias's point of view, and he's like trying to figure out a way to break away from the group. He's like trying to figure it out in his brain. He was like, drop the girl, free the boat, disable the shooter, kill Nina, kill Nina, kill Nina. I was like, I ship it. I was like, it's happening. I don't like, fight it all you want, guys.
Fight it, but it's gonna happen. We're gonna be a little.
And then this, oh man, I gotta show you to kind of give you the.
See this? Man, so much writing. Yeah. Is it page 135 and 136?
132, 133?
Never mind then. Sorry,
I was basically
go ahead.
Kaz teaching Matthias a lesson about who's boss.
Oh yeah, with the little thing like, I'm 10 steps ahead of you. Yeah. Like here's this, here's that, and he's just like, which?
Yeah, well, he's like demon. He's like, not only did he just kick the out of you. He like did some fancy card tricks. I'm just like, yes. I'm like, God, why are you? I was like, even I said, God damn, I think I'm in love. I was like, holy.
Well, I love in that scene, like he kept calling like the demon said this, the demon said that, and I was
After
just like,
that,
it has, come on.
every time after that, it's like demon. Like a little pet name. You're so cute. Stop it. Oh gosh. Okay, so my next post-it note is when basically like Inej got stabbed and she was ready just basically to end it all because she thought people was coming after her and it was actually Kaz. And I'm like, oh thank God.
Like a deep breath, deep breath,
deep breath. And then this is also like the way he's saying things to her now. He's like, don't slip away from me. Open your damn eyes, Inej. And I was like, he is freaking out. And I was like, this is when I text you and I was like, are we supposed to be shipping them?
Yes, we are. Do you know what that makes me think of? That particular scene, just as you said it, was Zadis and Bella.
Zadis and Bella. I love them so much.
When he was just like, you can't touch her.
Yes.
And kind of like different, but same.
Well, even after like with Bella and Sadist, like when he like he like saved her and he didn't want anybody touching her, but they were all like, we got to get her away from him because he's like so kind of like
weird.
You just don't know when he's gonna snap. And then he starts singing to her, and even Wrath was like,
what's happening?
Like he let it happen, but he's like, watch him. And I'm just like, oh my God.
Like, I ship it.
Oh my God. I shipped it. Oh, even before that book, because you meet like they have a little thingamajigger in book 2. So I'm like,
oh yeah. I forgot about that.
Yes. So I texted you like, are we supposed to be shipping Kaz and Inej? And you're like, is a fish, supposed to
fish need water to breathe?
Yeah. And I was just like, to be fair, I've only been shipping Kaz with myself. So I'm kind of oblivious to any other woman at this point.
I was trying to think of like, I wanted to say, does a bear shit in the woods? Because my dad says it all the time. But then I was like, I feel like
it's a dad thing to say.
So the fish in the water was a little better for me.
Yeah. And then like he's like carrying her on the ship, and Jesper was like, let me help you, and like he would not let go of her. Like he wouldn't like hand her off to someone else, even though he basically broke his freaking leg, who was already broken. And I was like, oh yeah, there's something there. There's something there.
And then Jesper was like, you can't let her die. Like I think he was more afraid of what Kaz would do to everyone else.
100%. 100%. Okay. So Nina and Matthias talking finally after, they basically were like, trying their damnedest to ignore each other. And he was asking like, did you even think of me? Like, and she's like, I thought of you all the time, it's just like, and he was just like and he even said, every time I close my eyes. And she's like, what happened in your dreams? And so this is like, and like, what did you do, Matthias? What did you do to me in your dreams? And his eyes were blue fire. Everything, he said as he turned to go, everything. I'm like, God, why is that so sexy? Like, I know he was like also thinking like in some of these dreams, like he killed her, but I'm just like, I'm thinking of the other things.
You're like, I'm just gonna put the other stuff under the table and I'm gonna bring up everything else.
I was like, okay, is it like an even 50-50 where you kill me or have sex with me, or is it like 70-20 or 70-30, like 80-20? Like, you gotta tell me. Like,
we're running with 80-20.
80-20 killed a sex ratio.
I was thinking the other way around, but all right.
Honestly, it's I'll take whatever I can get at this point. And then this is what I was talking about, the forced proximity when they when the ship went down and they had to like swim or he basically swam and she kept them alive. Series yeah.
Series is.
But and I was just like, okay, so they're in this wilderness. They have to keep each other warm. they're in this abandoned cabin. I was like, there's an opportunity here, and it was missed. That's all I'm gonna say about that's all I'm gonna say about it. All I'm gonna say about it. That's all I'm gonna say about it.
You said it too much, though.
And then my next post-it note is their banter when they, they're kind of building that trust. They're relying on each other for that survival. And you can't help in that kind of situation when you're relying on someone else for your survival, you can't help but build a certain level of trust there.
Oh, yeah.
And their banter back and forth during these scenes were so good. And it's just this one is just it's like because you're horrible, you're loud and lewd and treacherous. Brum warned us that Grisha could be charming. And he's like, oh, I see. I'm the wicked Grisha seductress. I have beguiled you with my Grisha wiles. She poked him in the chest. Stop that. No, I'm beguiling you. Quit it. That whole scene, I was just dying laughing. And then like 5 seconds later, like the ice falls and, he catches her. And I'm like, oh, this is such a great scene. This is kind of like cementing their relationship, or like the beginnings of their relationship, where if anything were to anchor like how their relationship could be possible, it's this scene here where they're building that trust, they're joking back and forth with each other, and then he saves her life. And I'm like, yes, this is it, people. This is it.
He had the opportunity to let her die, but he didn't. So that was key.
Yes. Oh, and this is when Matthias and Nina were saying like that Bear, is that how you say it?
Bar, I think.
Yeah.
Bar. Mm-hmm.
It's like, will not leave the ice court alive. The deal is the deal. I was just like, this is not a good idea. This is not a good idea to be making deals behind Kaz's back, because he gonna find out. Ugh.
Yeah.
And then I love this. It's just this little scene. My next post note is between Matthias and Inej, and Inej is basically, she's saying like that's my friend. I'm gonna like support her, and like she's saying like she's not a bad person, like because Matthias is still at that point where Nina's Grisha, like she's kind of like they're kind of on different sides of the line here. Mm-hmm. And Inej is basically supporting her, is like saying she's a really good friend, and Matthias is saying like, Nina is everything you say, it's too much. And Inej murmured, taking a sip from her mug, maybe you're just not enough. I'm like, God damn.
She went there.
I was like, that's another way of thinking it. Maybe like, oh, if you're thinking of this girl is too much, maybe you're just not enough. Maybe you just need some bigger hands, or maybe she needs a man with some bigger hands. That's what I'm saying.
Bigger wingspan, you mean?
Girl, don't even talk to me about wingspan right now. Because reading ACOTAR, all I want to do is read ACOMAF. That's it.
Yes.
And I'm trying so hard to like make those annotations, like not having ACOMAF influence my notes.
I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. When I was reading Archer's voice, I was just like, this guy's a dick. I hate him. Screw you. Like, get hit by a car already.
You gotta. I let it slip on one part. I think that all the people who have not read it
have
already read it. So I'm just like, I just let it slip just a little bit. Like, oh, and when we find out why Kaz can't handle touching, why he always wears gloves. Oh man, that was rough.
It's so sad. That's so a hard story. I mean, his upbringing was just treacherous. Well, not necessarily when he was on the farm, but like after it. Like his brother made a lot of bad decisions, and his brother, he loved him so much, but it was like it wasn't enough. So
his brother had good intentions.
Yeah.
And he just put his trust in the wrong people. And it wasn't his fault. He was definitely he got taken advantage. He definitely. Oh, sure. And that was just that whole scene with the pox or whatever, the boils, the sickness that went through, and he's basically on this barge. He wasn't dead, but they just thought he was dead. And he's trying to like yell out, I'm alive, and there's on this barge full of dead bodies. And I was like, oh my God, that is the worst.
They were actually in the water at that point. They dumped him from the barge into the water, and he was just in a bunch of dead bodies,
and then the water like makes their skin all like white. And
he wanted his brother. He's like, I'm not gonna let you go. But then it was sad.
yeah, it was terrible. I was like, honey,
Like, I want to hug you.
I want to do all
I
the
love that when he
things.
takes off his gloves and Jesper was just like, I was expecting gloves.
No, he's like staring. He's like, and even Cass was like, yes, like, can I help you? He was like, he's like, what were you expecting? I was like, claws at the very least. Like,
well, because they even said it earlier, and I love this too. And this is when you should have known with Inej and Kaz. Kaz was like undressing, like cleaning up or whatever, and he had taken off his gloves. And she even said, like, he only takes his gloves off in front of me, like nobody else. And she was trying to look away, and I was just like, don't look away.
Don't look away. Come on, girl, tell me the goods. This is your point of view. Come on.
Be like, he's not going to say this about
out.
himself. I need you here.
Help me out. Yeah, that's terrible. But bad Nicole. Terrible. My next post-it note is basically Inej coming to terms with what she feels for Kaz, and also she knows that he feels something for her, but it's basically not enough. And she's saying that I
want you to apologize. Apologize for what?
I know. He was like, what? He's like, say, when she's like dying and bleeding out, like, say you're sorry. And he's like, for what? I was like, oh, Kaz, just say you're sorry.
You don't have to mean it. Just say it. That's all she wanted.
She's dying.
If she was to die right now, and that was her last wish, wouldn't you want that to be something that's like you satisfy her?
Right. But this is later, when like she cups his cheek and he like, you could tell it's like, it's really triggering for him, but he doesn't pull away. But and she was saying like, yeah, like she could see it took every last bit of his terrible will for him to remain still beneath her touch, and yet he did not pull away. She knew it was the best he could offer. It was not enough. I'm like, Inej, rude. Like, if you knew half the stuff that this poor man had to go through, like, that's just rude, first of all. But she doesn't know. I give it to her. She doesn't know. Okay. But I even said, I was like, good, you can leave and I'll take what I can get and be happy. I was back shipping Kaz with myself at this point.
I mean, I can't blame you for it.
I mean, oh yeah, this is Nina. Poor Nina. She's trying to like climb over obstacles and like get into places. She's like, Nina hit the bottom of the shaft like a sack of laundry. And then another one. Quickly she wrenched the gate loose and dropped onto the shiny surface of the table. Nina tumbled down after her, landing in a heap. She's like, sorry, she moaned as she dragged herself upright. And I'm like, I am Nina. I'm sorry. Oh, Princess is here. Hi, how are you? Hi. Like, even set an alert. It's okay. We're kind of winding down, but we're still talking about the book. So anything that you want us to talk about, or that you kind of remember from the book and you just want us, to discuss, just comment and we will. Thank you for coming though. I really appreciate it. But so yeah, I was just like, this poor girl, like I love the fat rep in this book, like, because Nina, she's like plus size, and like she is like so. I was like, I would be Nina. And I'm so Nina, like tripping and falling over everything. But
she's like, someone better start feeding me some biscuits now. And I
know she wants to eat every 5 minutes. I'm like, I am Nina. She's like, I'm hungry. Poor thing. Oh gosh.
At one point, he was just Matthias was like, she is like, was it unoffensively large or something? Because he was expecting her to be like super tiny. Oh my gosh.
Yes, Princess. We're just talking about Six of Crows
and the original trilogy, but not yet Crooked Kingdom.
Correct. So, yes,
we've already talked about those. Feel free to spoil any of them.
Yeah, so we've read the Grisha trilogy, and we did those discussions, and tonight is the Six of Crows. So it's basically like, if we do talk about things in the Grisha trilogy, it's because we've talked about them before. Have you, Princess, have you read the Grisha trilogy, or have you just read this duology? I'm curious. Okay, so let me get to my next post-it note. This is when Nina sees Matthias when she's locked in the cell, and I'm just like, no, I don't believe it. And he's even like, do you really think that I would betray my country again? And I'm just like,
yeah, you bet.
Yeah, I do believe that actually, because y'all had a heart to heart and you've come so far. Don't do it. Princess A, I've only read the first one in the trilogy, but I got spoiled. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm surprised of how much I didn't get spoiled, because this is we talked about this on Instagram, so this is the first time I've read this book. So I was actually surprised at how much I did not get spoiled.
I'm surprised I don't know anything about King of Scars. Although I try not to, if I know I haven't read anything, I try not to Google it, Pinterest it.
Pinterest, Google. Oh yeah. Sometimes I spoil myself like on purpose, but accidentally, because I'm looking
How is that possible?
I'm looking for one thing, a specific one thing that I want to know or know more about or kind of get explained better. And then it it just spoils you for the whole thing. So I've done that. Okay. And then, so after Matthias breaks Nina out of the cell, she says, if we make it out of here alive, I'm going to kiss you unconscious. I'm like, why wait? Why are you doing this to me? This is like, how many pages into this book? I'm like, stop it. Kiss now. Because what happened? We did not get our kiss. We didn't. Because I have a post-it note about that, how she takes the Jur to Parem, about how she's trying to save everybody. She's really noble. I understand. But I'm just like, Nina! It's like, you got to take the opportunities. There was a quiet second that you could just a peck, just a quick peck. That's all I wanted.
Peck, don't even lie.
At this point, I would have settled for a peck. Because I'm like, why wait? Just kiss him now. And the time it took for you to say, when we make it out of here alive, I'm going to kiss you. You could have been kissing. Drive me nuts. Drive me nuts. Yeah, okay. My next post-it note is when she takes the Jur to Parem, and I was like, oh, I don't want Nina to die. And I don't like you've read Crooked Kingdom, don't tell me anything. But she's like, but like sometimes the first dose doesn't get you addicted. I'm like, oh, this is not good. This is not gonna be good.
Stop having hopeful thoughts.
I know, like, stop it. But it's just and even in Jesper's point of view chapter after this, he was saying how like she was a hero because that she volunteered to do that, and like that's what a hero does. And I don't know if he was like not necessarily like disappointed in himself that he didn't like speak up, because he's a Grisha. He could have done something, but if he took the Jur to Parem, or he was thinking about taking the Jur to get the Jur to Parem out of her, because they were saying like for her system to be purged of that, a Grisha would basically have to take the Jur and do it. I was about to say, do you want me to spoil for you? No, princess. Don't do it. No spoils for Crooked Kingdom. But my next post-it note was this. I think this was Jesper's chapter, where he was saying, like, with a niggle of unease, Jesper wondered what else Rollins might have told Kaz. And I'm just like, well, why? Why are you wondering that? It's like, stop it. And it was, we find out that, he went, that was my next post-it note, where he basically, Kaz was like, you are the reason, our ship got blown up, and that. I was like, okay, well, like, he didn't keep his mouth shut, sure. But it's like, you don't have to be so hard on him, okay?
He wouldn't have. See, in his defense, he would still have a Nej had Jesper kept his mouth shut.
He was he wasn't thinking clearly just because Inej was kidnapped. Oh my gosh. That's all my post-it notes, by the way.
Right.
Yeah, your discussion questions and go.
Okay. They're not many, and I apologize about that. But next week you get to put some in too, because we'll be caught up. Although I'll still have read The Language of Thorns, but that's fine.
Yeah.
So first of all, happy belated birthday to Leigh Bardugo. Her birthday was on 4/6, which was what, 2 days ago?
2 days ago. Yes. Oh,
She
happy belated birthday.
celebrated in quarantine.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I
that's
saw
just
her on
everybody.
Instagram.
Everybody who has birthdays during this quarantine time, I'm so sorry.
Sorry.
When this is all over, you gotta just have a big old bash.
We're gonna have to celebrate what is people used to say, we're gonna celebrate St. Patrick, Easter, Mayo, whatever
Yes.
day. And I'm like, all right.
In the summer. Princess, we are reading Crooked Kingdom this coming week, and we're going to be discussing next Wednesday, same time, 6 p.m. Arizona time. So next, we'll have a live stream discussion about Crooked Kingdom next Wednesday.
And then we're going to King of Scars. And then after that, we're doing the novellas, and then we're done with the Grisha Verse. For now.
Little bugs are flying around. For now, yes, until the third book in this series comes out. So
my next one, we kind of discussed it a little bit, but did you see the end coming?
The end meaning that Inej getting kidnapped, or
yeah, like after they got out, because obviously you knew that there was a second book, so you were going to know that they got out. But did you, like, out of any expectations that you had after they got out, like, could that in your wildest dreams, did you ever think that could occur?
I thought maybe it could have been Nina, maybe, but I didn't think anybody could get a one-up on Inej. I really did not. I didn't think about, I mean, she did get stabbed in the first, scuffle, but honestly, I was just like, I was so confident in her skills. I still am. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, she was outnumbered. I'm not dissing Inej at all because she's badass.
Sorry, I just saw what she said. Yeah, that's why I laughed.
I'm throwing away my TBR to reread. Yes, I love it. So I mean, like I said, I'm not dissing Inej or her skills at all because she was ambushed. She,
nobody saw, not even Kat saw it coming.
No one saw it coming. So, but I thought if anybody would have gotten kidnapped, it could have been either Nina or Wylan.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else.
I felt so bad for Wylan. I mean, you're gonna feel for him like hard, but it's just like every letter that he had him sent was a joke because he knew he couldn't read it. I was like, what a dick.
That was messed up. That was so messed up. And then the fact that they changed his face to look like that kid, and he was basically like, this could be permanent because Nina can't fix you. I can't read King of Scars with y'all, but I will definitely reread. Okay, it's a deal. So I was just like, okay, like you could go around looking like this other boy. And even Jesper was like, maybe I liked your face.
That's how you know that they're gonna.
I know. I ship everybody. Like, I ship everybody who I'm supposed to ship. Okay, except for Kaz with myself. It's fine. I wish Nina the best, or not Nina, Inej. I wish Inej the best. I do, but Kaz is. Okay.
Speaking of Kaz, who do you like more now, Kaz or the Darkling?
Kaz.
Who do you think would win in a fight?
Oh my God, the Darkling. Sorry, Kaz. I really think the Dark.
Probably.
I know. I mean. Jen, do you have a channel?
No, but I actually joined Twitter just recently, but that's mainly because of my safari adventures. I want to ask a question. I should get a channel, but I don't do enough of these on my own. I don't feel like I would like commit to it like you have. I'm very lazy.
So Princess Jen is a part of my in real life book club. We're friends. We live in. Huh? We're friends? What? Someone let Jen know that we're friends, okay?
You're like, Jen had to go.
I was like, okay, well, we're cutting this live stream. Sure. And she sometimes does videos and stuff with me. So she's been a co-host on my channel for a few,
We're
since
doing it better now. Last
we're
year
doing
we
a lot
didn't have
better.
any other than a year in review like awards
Yes.
thing. This year we're knocking them out left, right, and center.
Honestly, I've wanted to do more book reviews and discussions on my channel, but I just love doing it with someone else because I don't know, just talking especially like book discussions, like talking to myself or like myself to the camera. I know everybody's gonna watch it, but it's like I don't know. I feel better when I have someone to bounce and communicate with. So that's why I really love doing book discussions like this in this kind of setting. Buddy read, and
it's nice to meet you too. Sorry, I'm reading it now.
That's okay. So, so yeah, this is gonna, this is just gonna be a regular thing that we decided last week because we were basically doing it anyway. So we're like, okay, yeah.
Well, I figured because King of Scars is on my TBR and it has been for some time, and I'm like, I need to read this, and I feel like the only way I'm gonna throw it in there is if I make it part of a book discussion. So
yeah,
if I don't make it a book club book, I have to make it some other way. So I know Nicole's always up for it.
I know. I was just like, yes, I will read anything. Let's go. Especially like with books, like especially because these books they're so hyped on BookTube. They still are, and I've just been so behind on hype books.
So behind,
crazy. I'm just like, I need to read. Like last month, or when we did like the Ninth House review, literally the only books that I've read from Leigh Bardugo was Ninth House, Wonder Woman, and Shadow and Bone. I was like, I need to read her other books.
She's so good.
So good. Love it.
All right, so this is kind of a two-parter. Would you have made the same decision as Nina, would you have been strong enough to take the Jar de Parem to save everybody else? And do you think that Matthias will save her in Crooked Kingdom?
I have to believe that Matthias, or not, maybe not just Matthias, but everybody working together to save Nina. I have to believe that'll happen because I love them so much. So I have to have like some sliver of hope for at least some of my ships. I mean, come on. I buddy read with my BookTube best friend every month normally, even though we've never met in real life. We FaceTime every day. Oh, I love that. I love that. Especially just because, even though Jen and I, we live in the same city, with this whole quarantine going on, I love that there's the technology, we're still there so we can see each other and talk to each other. But yeah, BookTube, I have met some lovely, lovely people on BookTube, and it's just the fact that, we can communicate and, FaceTime. I just had like a little reading date with Morgan from Morgie Reads, and she is the sweetest. She's a sweetheart, and we just took I think we were like on the phone for 3 hours, and we were just like sitting like the phone just facing us, and we're just reading. It's like that's so fun. It was just so great. So the OWL's Princess, is that what you're participating in right now? But I now have to fit in Crooked Kingdom. I would love to join your book club if that's okay. Just tell me what we're reading and I'm done.
Whatever I want to read.
Yeah. Definitely. Yes, absolutely. That's awesome.
Crescent City is next Thursday if you'd like to join.
Which one? Oh, Crescent City. Yes. Yeah. We are reading Crescent City. Yes, because I just watched your the tag video that you put out. I think it was today that you released it. The books that you were looking forward to in 2020, and Crescent City was one of them. So
I mean, it's a week's notice, and that would be 2 books that she'd have to read, plus whatever other book she's got. So no pressure.
I know. With the OWLs, I love that readathon. Like, so much thought and effort and just amazingness was put into that readathon. And I did participate one year, but I felt like I was trying to do literally everything with that readathon. And I just kind of got overwhelmed. But I love the concept of the OWLs and the newts. So yeah, it's just read Crooked Kingdom. That way you could be with the discussion.
All right, my last question, and this was the same that we had for Season of Storm for Ruin and Rising, but who do you think will survive and who do you think will die?
Oh, God. And it's just, I'm like so jaded where I'm just like, someone has to die, right? Somebody. But even
I mean, last time
somebody.
we said someone had to die and they miraculously survived.
I
So
know, miraculously. So, but if I had to,
put a nail in a coffin, do it. No mourners, no funerals in this one.
That's what I'm saying. Like, gosh, no funerals. You better be no funerals, Leigh Bardugo. If someone, don't even look around like you don't know what I'm talking about. If I had to say somebody had to die, it would probably be Wylan, or Jesper, or both. I mean, go on, don't even. You're trying not to give it away.
I know. That's why I'm hiding my face. I'm like, my face is gonna give me a reaction, but the eyes are my window to my soul. I should have gone like this.
Exactly.
Dang it, missed opportunity.
I was saying, I will read Crooked Kingdom. Are you okay with someone dying? I'm not okay with someone dying, but if I had to foreshadow or like premonition somebody who I think would possibly die, it would be Wylan or Jesper.
Why? I'm just curious.
I don't know. I just can't handle
that you can handle.
I can't handle Kaz dying, and I can't handle Inej dying because I really feel like Inej is the key to Kaz's happiness, and I need Kaz to be happy. And then Nina and Matthias. No, I can't. It's like their hate to love relationship. I love hate to love relationships, so it's just like they have to survive. They have to. So process of elimination. Wylan and Jesper. Pekka can die. I don't care.
I would say something, but I feel like that would give it away. So I'm just gonna say my words.
Anything.
My words are gonna be.
Yeah. Chen, do you know?
I do know. I have read Crooked Kingdom. I have not read King of Scars yet, but I have read Crooked Kingdom, so I know things.
Princess, Jen's Instagram. I'm sharing your Instagram too, by the way.
Fine.
It's in the description. So if you want to follow her on Instagram, and you guys can talk about, Crooked Kingdom
behind your back. I'll find my messages that she sends me. Let's just get a group chat going because I know I know you're gonna have feels.
I'm gonna. I don't know when I'm gonna start it, but I'm starting a buddy read tomorrow, so I'll probably start Crooked Kingdom probably Monday or Tuesday next week. So, God, I don't know. I don't want to wait that long, but yeah.
I will say none of the words.
No words. Don't say anything. But yeah, that's. I'm dying. I want to say so bad.
I know. There's a certain phrase that I know if I say it, she'll know exactly what happened. So I'm just like, zip it.
After this live stream, I'm going to immediately go and start Crooked Kingdom. You know that, right? Oh,
you'll be up at like 3 a.m. I need answers. Being like, we're not even gonna wait a week. Tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Arizona
tomorrow. Be prepared.
I mean, you probably could.
So true. I mean, I believe in myself, but it's like I also have to work tomorrow.
I believe that you could read it and work. People would come in and you spray Lysol, being like, "You're good, bye."
You're good. Sign these documents, bye.
I needed an X-ray. That's fine. This will be good for you for now.
I know, it's fine.
I'll draw a little picture. Look, there's a happy face. You're good.
I know. I always, not always, but sometimes I'm like, make sure you smile when they take your pictures. And I'm like, I'm so cheesy. Like, why?
Yes.
So a week from today. So next Wednesday, 6 p.m. Arizona time. What is next Wednesday's date, by the way? The 15th.
15th. Yep.
April 15th, 6 p.m. Arizona time.
6 p.m. Arizona time, 6 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I know that much.
She's got all the time. So I was going to literally ask her what her time zone is.
I'm not sure. I'm only 100% sure about Arizona, but I'm 100% sure about Arizona, Pacific, and Mountain Standard. Eastern Time, I'm like 85%
3 hours.
Sure.
So
3 hours, and it'd be 9 p.m. So I was right.
Yeah.
Never doubt myself. What am I doing?
Don't doubt yourself. I have a week to read the book. Got it.
What is Cali time? So right now, California, you're probably 7:30, which is where we're at. So it's same time. So you'll be 6 o'clock California time as well.
Yeah, we're the same time as California right now.
It's a good thing for where I work because I know all these things. Where California is one of our biggest people, so got to pay attention to them.
Yes. All right. So you said that was your last discussion question?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to go to the bathroom now really bad, so wrap this up.
Is there anything else that we want to talk about?
Or if you guys have any questions, feel free to throw them in there.
Yeah, Summer, Princess, please comment away if there's anything that you want to say. But yeah, we've been live for an hour and a half, so we're probably going to wrap this up.
I even told our book club people, because we're going to do quarantine book club after this. I was like, we'll probably done before 7:30. You're fine.
It's fine. Are they saying anything in the chat? Probably not.
No. They probably won't start it without us, so it's fine. Plus, we'll have to be done by 9 because our African safari starts at 9 p.m. sharp. So me and Kayla are going to be out. So
tell everybody about your African safari.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I love this thing so much. If I don't know, so I only know Arizona time, but if you are awake from 9 p.m. to midnight or 6:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Arizona time, you can go follow Wild Earth on YouTube. It's their live stream. So they actually are going out into the safari and finding animals live for 3 hours. And it is literally the greatest thing in the whole world. So you have to go. There's lots of animals. We saw a leopard. Is it a leopard? I think it's a leopard, not a jaguar. We saw that last night. We see elephants. There's giraffes. They found a chameleon the other day. It's super good. So you have to watch because they have great personalities.
So Princess, what the novels that we're reading? Well, next week is Crooked Kingdom. The week after that,
the 22nd will be King of Scars, and then the 29th is A Language of Thorns plus the novella with the Darkling, which I believe is Demon in the Woods.
Yes,
I'm not sure how long that novella is, but we'll do those two on that day. And then I think the next off week buddy read we have, you already did a video, so we won't.
Yes,
that's the mystery series.
Yeah, that's a cozy mystery series. But I've already done reviews on those, so yes, you got to start that because that's 3 books. So yeah, behind. So next week, Crooked Kingdom. The week after that, which would be the 22nd, which is King of Scars, and then the week after that, which is the 29th, is The Language of Thorns, and the other
Demon in the Woods.
Demon in the Woods. And Summer says she's good. You are good, Summer.
All right.
So, yep. So that is it. Thank you so much, everybody who joined us talking about this lovely, lovely book. Like I said, 4.5 stars. Solid, amazing. Cannot wait to read Crooked Kingdom, which is like we said, happening next week. And again, thank you so much. And you all have a wonderful night.
Have a good
night, everybody.
Bye.